Hello, Daily Drafters. Today is Tuesday, February 22nd, and thanks for joining me for today's Daily Draft. As we get into the draft here, don't forget that we'd like to give a special shout out to all those in the subscriber community for choosing to spend a part of your day here with me. And for those of you that are not subscribed yet, go ahead and click that red subscribe button attached to this video. It's absolutely free if you don't know that yet, and you will then have access to the most consistent, high-quality, limited content on YouTube. Let's hope today's video goes a little bit smoother than yesterday's. The draft was hard to navigate, and we ended up with a bit of an underpowered deck. Good thing is, green's my favorite color in the format. We found a mythic rare green creature here in Kamigawa of the West Tree. 3 mana, 3/3 reach. Modified creatures have trample, and you get a ramp every time a modified creature hits your opponent. Any of them. Doesn't have to be just one or more. It's any. So this is great. We will absolutely be totally fine taking it here. Bad thing is the next best cards in this pack are Capitec Wrecker, Circuit Mender, and Tales of Sashiro, and all those are green or colorless. But we're not going to take that into effect when just taking Kodama here. Absolutely. And we've had a lot of green-white drafts on the channel so far, and Michiko's Reign of Truth has been one of the best uncommons in the entire set. It's incredible. So probably going to take that here. Other options are, there's no green. We can't take safekeeping. So it's between this, Dockside Chef, and Spirited Companion. I have actually liked Dockside Chef, especially if you can pair it with a couple of the 1/4 artifacts. Forget exactly what they're called, but the creature 1/4s. Undercity Scavenger, I think, because they create treasures that you could sacrifice to this to draw cards. And because Kodama doesn't really care too much about enchantments in Michiko and then Spirited Companion, I think I actually want to take Dockside Chef. I've liked green-black as just a powerful deck in general, and I think I actually want to start with Chef over Truth here. Again, I would not at all blame you for going with Truth or even Spirited Companion in some decks there. I think this is a pretty easy Jukai Preserver. It creates modified creatures for itself and other creatures. If you have Kodama down, you can then play this on the next turn, put a counter on this, and then ramp, which is pretty crazy. The next best cards, Era of Enlightenment, Network Disruptor. But I think this is a pretty easy Jukai Preserver. Then we see Lethal Exploit versus Spirited Companion. Thirst for Knowledge. Those are probably the best cards here. And because we started with Dockside Chef, I think I want to take Lethal Exploit over the Companion. Nice little start to a decent green-black removal value good cards deck. And then instantly get presented with basically nothing here. We could take Renegade to hedge our bets to go to red-green. But I don't really like that idea. There's Fade into Antiquity, which is fine. Don't like Storyweave, even though I've got owned by it twice in the format so far. It doesn't seem worth a card. But 3 mana, put 2+1/+1 counters you control on a creature you control, I guess is good enough sometimes. Rugged Highlands if we wanted to splash, Terrarium for splashing, but I think the first copy of Fade into Antiquity is fine to main deck. Then we see another Lethal Exploit, which is good. There's Completion Samurai, and I also do like Geothermal Kami, but currently we have Dockside Chef we could return, but I think we want to make sure we secure a good amount of removal in this deck, especially if we're trying to get into a bit of a modified kind of thing going on with Kodama here. Now we see Return to Action and Boon of Boseiju being the only cards we could play in our colors, which I don't want either. There's Thornwood Falls if we wanted to splash. Unchart Haven could splash anything. And there's an Arrest. And I think Arrest is what I'm going to take here. I know the Haven is what you need to splash this kind of card, but I'm going to take this in the event that we get cut off one of our colors, or we could find a way to splash white for that card. March of Burgeoning Life. Choose target creature, mana value X, search your library for a creature card, same name as that creature, put it on the battlefield, tap, then shuffle. So that is a blank. That does basically nothing in limited. Unless you get lucky enough and want to... with the same name as that creature? No, that's just nothing. I guess I'll take Imperial Oath as another potential way to splash. If we, again, in green, there's lots of ways to do it. So we can kind of end up in a bit of a pile here, like a green, black, white pile. And here we go. Here's an Uncharted Haven that'll help us do both of those, because none of these cards really matter for us. So we can start the splash train now. The only green card in this pack came back, which is nice, but not really any other cards we want. Maybe we could take the Ember Keeper. Again, if we go green-red, we don't care about safekeeping, but the two best cards in this pack are red. So we'll just take this and not really put much weight into it. There is Network Disruptor here, which is one of the better green commons, or blue commons, but I think blue is the one color I'm going to let set sail for the moment. There's Era of Enlightenment if we wanted to go green-white. And this is still coming around the table, so I think we could take it here. Simian Sling. We'll just take the best card out of these packs to end out this pack. And see if pack 2 can kind of give us a direction. There is Renegade, so maybe red-green. This came all the way back. Economy of Industry don't care. So we have a lot of options we can do here. I think we'd like to be green with with Kodama and Preserver, with this being our best card. But I think it's between like green, white, red, and or black, depending on what we open and what we get passed to us in the first couple of picks here. I think that can really dictate the rest of this draft. So let us see. Kaito Shizuki. Blue is one of the colors I did not want to really move into. Let's see if there's any other cards that can help us find a color here. The problem is, when you look at the rest of this pack, everything else kind of is awful. Kitsune is fine, but doesn't really go in green-white. Era of Enlightenment is fine, but like not outstanding. Golden Tail Disciple's good in green-white. Stalker, meh. Favor, no. Ironhoof Boar in green-red is okay. Blossoming Sands to splash some of these white cards. If we go like green-black, splash white. I don't know what to take here, and I'm not excited about any of this, to be honest. I think I'll take Golden Tail Disciple. And, I mean, as green-white, I don't even know. That pick was just awful. That was one of the worst second packs that I'd seen. I don't even know what to take there. It was all just really bad. We do see a Blossom Prancer here, though, and that really helps us get deeper into green. We're very happy with the Blossom Prancer. It's a 5-mana 4/4 reach, and you can put an enchantment into your hand or a creature from the top 5 or gain 4 life if you don't do that. So we will absolutely be happy with the Blossom Prancer. Then we see Emberkeeper, Ryu Storm's Edge. I don't think that's for us. I don't think we're going red-white. So there's a Grove Archer if we wanted to go black-green, a little more grindy. There's Emberkeeper if we wanted to go red-green, but that's going to have to be a little bit more aggressive. I think I'm okay taking a Grove Archer here and trying to lean in a little bit more of a grindy green-black deck. Find some Tanukis, find some top end. Life of Toshiro Umezawa is a great one. It just, offers a lot of versatility in the first 2 chapters, and then you get a 2/3 on the backside as well, all for just 2 mana. So I think we're going to be totally fine taking that one here. And then we see a Geothermal Kami, Jukai Trainee. There is a Specialist, but again, I think blue has sailed on us. We're not to take that. So Geothermal Kami, currently we have 8 enchantments, so this is going to be pretty good. I haven't even counted up exactly what they are, but I think it'll be pretty good to take the Kami here, and it could just find a lot of value for us throughout the game. There's a Renegade, so green-red could really be open. Green-red modified, but the problem is we don't really have a lot of good ways to modify even yet. We have a Preserver and a Simian Sling in green-red. We have the Chef and the Exploit in black. The double Exploit. And green-red wants to be much more aggressive. So I think I'm just going to take another archer, and I think I'm going to let red kind of pass us by as soon as there's no green, no black, and a Kami's Flare. So of course that happens. We're just going to take the Kami's Flare here. I know we're kind of a pile right now, but green doesn't even seem to be open. That's the card. That's the color we want to play the most. So let's pick 8 Reckoner Raid. I think we'll take that here. And really not know what our second... I mean, we're kind of all over the place right now. This is... Are we going to even make playables is the problem. Probably need to take Blossoming Sands so we can splash something off of green. Because we're probably going to have to splash no matter what colors we go. There's an Enlightenment, but I think our most likely color right now is green-black. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We have 12 playables in green-black. Not very good. I guess we'll take Boar, because there's literal 0 green or black cards in this entire pack. Same thing, no green or black cards. Do we have to take Puppet in case we don't make playables? Maybe. We could take another Oath so that we can consider splashing that one as well, because it's easier to splash 6 drops because you don't need that mana till later in the game. So I guess we'll take Centipede here. There's also an argument to taking Decoy as like a, I don't know what colors we are, but I think we're most likely green-black. Probably not playing red. As we see a second to last pick, Aki Emberkeeper, of course. And a Mountain. Okay. And then the best card in this pack is red. Ogrehead Helm. 2 mana, 2/2. Equipped creature gets +2/+2. And then whenever this or equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, you may sacrifice it, meaning either this or the creature that is equipped to. And if you do, you discard your hand, draw 3 cards. It's very good. There's also Capitec Wrecker and Web Spinner Cuff. Oh, jeez. There's also Jungle Hollow. I think we're just going to take the Capitec Wrecker here. I think we have to let red sail. But there's Ogrehead Helm. It's just such a good card. We do have a decent red-green deck, and I don't know if we'll be able to make playables on that. We might have to consider splashing one of these, but I think red-green is pretty good for us right now. Then we could take Tails here. I mean, there's Bamboo Grove Archer. I think we can take Tails, and there's another Tails and a Goshentai of Ancient Wars. And a Peerless Samurai. I think we'll take the second Tails here because we know we're green. And I'm pretty sure based off of the Ogrehead Helm we can go red with that second color. But we're probably still going to have to splash, unfortunately. Guess we'll take Coiling Stalker as a 2-drop that we know we can play. There's also Bearer of Memory, but that's very, very slow. There's Clawing Torment, but I don't know if we're black. I don't know the correct direction for this draft. This one's been really all over the place, to be honest. There's a Boar and a Trainee. Again, I think we'll take Trainee to hedge toward green. We already have a Boar that we can play if we want to. So, take that 2-drop. There's a Ninja's Kunai, an Orochi Merge Keeper, and a Coiling Stalker here. I don't think we're really ramping too much. We can ramp to Tails, I guess. I guess this card is just generically powerful in general. So we'll take the Merge Keeper. We'll see another Ember Keeper here. So lots of green and red. So maybe green-red was the color to go down, but we never really saw a ton of great cards. Our 2 best cards in this deck are Kodama and Ogrehead Helm. So I guess green-red is kind of where it's supposed to go. We have a lot of good 2-drops in Aki Ember Keeper, and we could start bringing these back in. So at least there's, you know, something here. Don't think we need Kami of Industry. Could start moving these white cards out of here, except maybe the Oath and the Arrest. I don't think we're playing black at this point. All right, so now we have a Blossoming Sands if we want to splash white more, which we might have to. There's also another Shrine, but we haven't seen the green one. Kindled Fury, Harmonious Emergence, Shattered States Air. I think we'll just take this because I think we might very well have to splash white to make playables. Simian Sling, decent pickup here. Another cheap way to modify creatures for us. Don't think any of this is for us here. We'll just take this because that land doesn't help us. Guess we can take the Shrine here. How many Samurais and Warriors do we have? 3 Warriors, 2 Samurais. It's a 3-drop. Yeah, maybe this is just a little bit better. Bear of Memory is another 3-drop. Ironhoof Boar at the top end. So I do think green-red is correct here at this seat. It took us a while to get there, obviously, but kind of waffled our way around, and I think we eventually found it. Only problem is it's not the greatest of green-red decks. I don't know, it has some explosive power, but I think it could have been a little bit more better on the top end. Okay, so we currently, let's just get these lands out of here and see that we have 28 playables if we triple splash here, which I don't think we need to. So what if we didn't splash? What are we ending up with? 25? And almost all of them are creatures. Don't really care about Aki Ronin. Bamboo Grove Archer doesn't go very well in an aggressive shell like this. So what if we cut both of those? Peerless Samurai now has 3 warriors, 3 samurais. It's not bad. It's also just a 3-mana 2/3 menace, which isn't the end of the world. It wears +1/+1 counter as well. We have 7 enchantments to pick up with Geothermal Kami. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're running a little bit low on removal, the problem with this deck, as it sits right now. So we could cut Fade, which I know is removal, but then we're going to have to look to splash some white. So what if we splashed Intercessor's Arrest in this deck? Adds to our enchantment count. We have 2 Blossoming Sands and an Uncharted Haven to help do that. Could also think about splashing an Oath off of these. Because if we didn't do that, we'd have to play something like Bamboo Grove Archer or Fade into Antiquity. I guess we could play a copy of Fade. That's not the end of the world. I guess it would be just splash. Do we want to splash this Oath? We'd probably have to play 1 Plains if we did that. And I think that's fine. It's pretty good top end, you know. And again, because it's a 6-drop splash, usually with 2 pips of white splash, you'd want probably 5 white sources. And if we put a Plain, we have 4. And this is a 6-drop. So I think that should be enough to find for that. So let's go into our lands here. We can add a Plains. And then we need 13 more lands. Probably a lot of red because we have 3 green sources already. And we have 1 red. So now we have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 red sources. And then if we added this all the way up to 40, we'd have 6, 7, 8, 9 green. So 9 green, 8 red, 4 white for this deck. That seems pretty acceptable. So, yeah, seems like we got there a little bit. We have a little bit of top end and going on, and I think we can make this deck work. So, don't forget that as we get into this draft, into the first round here, I wanted to remind you that we make sure that we post every single draft we record here, including yesterday's. If you haven't seen it yet, or if you have, it's an 03. So obviously, we want to make sure we post everything, but there's reasons we do that. It's because even in seeing drafts that go 03, there's still obviously something you can learn from that. You know, you can learn how not to build the red-black deck that we did yesterday, or what made that deck bad, or what makes this deck good or bad, right? We want to make sure you can learn at least something from each of the drafts that we post on here. So we'll keep this. We're on the draw. We're probably going to have to put this on green. Yeah, especially now that we drew yet another mountain. Probably going to have to put this on green so we can go Merge Keeper on 2. I know that leaves our white open without a source yet, but we need green more than we need white. So Shigeki Jukai Visionary could be a bit of a problem going into the late game. But we'll just get that ramp going, see if we can get down Iron Hoof Boar a turn early or not. If we draw a green 2-drop, we can also play Sling, equip it, and then tap for 2 green to play that as well. Don't want to do it that way, because you played a land and then this, so you want to play this before you play your lands. So no green to play, so we could just do this and Sling here. And the next turn we might be able to equip this. Okay, so put a land on the battlefield tapped, rest in the graveyard. I found 3 lands and a commune. Okay. Oni Cult Anvil. They are certainly playing a pile of cards here. Jukai Preserver. We can cast it, and it creates a modified creature. So if we cast it and put the counter here, we have to use this to cast it is the problem. We could also 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Can't quite do that. So why don't we... Yeah, why don't we cast this 2, 3... If we cast this, put it here, we could tap for 2 green, but that doesn't do anything anymore. So we can go 1, 2, 3, 4 to do this. Put it probably... I know if we put it here, we can attack this turn. But we can put it here, I think. Opens up playing Iron Hoof Boar next turn. Even if we don't draw land. A second anvil. Jeez. So this is going to be a bit of a problem here. Yep, that makes sense. Hopefully they don't hit a land. Good. But now they have these that can just keep looping over and over again, which is not going to be good for us. Alright, so we can play the boar, or we could play the Ember Keeper and then equip, like double equip, and then get him with a bunch and maybe get some spirits out of this. So I think I'm actually going to do that. So I'm going to equip this onto this one. And then this onto probably this one. Well, no, we can't attack. We're not going to be attacking with that, but why don't we put it on here, and then we'll trade however they want to. Or just let them take 7. Yep. Sacrifice 1 to get 2. And web spinner cuff, okay. Coiling Stalker, not a great draw, so I think we're just going to play the boar here. We could also channel the boar if they block in a weird way. This also has ninjutsu, but we're not really going to want to be returning any of this. So if we played the boar and they blocked with like this, if they blocked everything with the boar, we could kill just like this plus these two, which is a good deal for us. So I think we just have to play this and then get in with preserver and boar here. They're going to return that to their hand, most likely, to prevent 4 damage here. Yep. 3 lands and a careful cultivation. Yep, double anvil is a pretty good combo. Okay. Another green. So I think we need to put this over here on the boar to get it out of the range of the preserver. And then we can get in with both of these, and if they want to trade, we get 2 1/1s out of the deal here. They'll just chump, because that makes sense, because they can just basically do that for free every turn. Okay, so they have some sort of combat trick here to save, or make their preserver trade. Lethal exploit, yeah. So it doesn't even trade anymore, they just eat it. And then they sacrifice that, so... Yeah, these double anvils I think are just going to get us here in this game. I know we can get a lot of value out of these Ember Keepers, but, I mean... So I think we can put it... nothing else really matters. They have a 4/4. And then they could just keep chumping every turn. We can't even attack. I mean, I guess we put it here. I don't really even know. I don't know how we win this game. They get a free chump every turn. There's another clock. Blossom Prancer could be pretty good. I guess we get Kodama. But it does have reach. We could also just get Tails to open up a couple of attacks for us, at least. Or at least a attack. Because Kodama doesn't really... I mean, it can ramp us and things, but like... We're not hitting them. It does give modified creatures trample, so they can't chump with these anymore if we do Kodama. And we have another Tails in the deck. So I think I will actually do Kodama here. And then I'm going to re-equip this over here so we can have a good attack next turn. That way we can attack with these two next turn. And we can't attack now because, again, they have a free chump every turn. Until we play Kodama when it gets trample. So can we outrace an Infiltrator and double Anvil? Well, we do have reach now with the Prancer, so that kind of holds back the Infiltrator, at least for now. Or they'll just kill it. So that's no fun. So modified creatures you control have trample. Blade Blesser, Death Touch Menace. That is very often in this format, just a 3-mana 3/2 Death Touch Menace, which is very good. Now they have 3 of these. Ugh. At some point here, we're just going to have to like swing out and hope it's good enough. 1, 2, 3. Just going to have to play this. And then we can modify something else, but we can't attack with anything else other than this, basically. It does get trample, so there is that. So I guess we'll get in there with this one. Okay. So do we kill the Cuff or the Preserver here? If they start re-equipping the Cuff, I don't think we can ever get another point of damage through. So I think we have to kill the Cuff. Deals combat damage. Okay, so we'll get a few more 1/1s here. And then we can re-equip one of these onto this one to open up attacks for next turn. And then we'll have to re-equip another one next turn, probably. So we're going very wide, but I don't know if that race is going to win. Because they're going wide while also draining us. We're turning Assassin's Ink, probably going to get rid of Kodama. So we can't find that white to splash Imperial Oath here. Must be nice. Every turn they get a free 1/1 drains for 1. Red's about the worst draw in our deck, so we will play it. So if we quip here, I mean, they have a free block. They're probably just going to kill this and chump. But at least we force them to do that if we equip. We're not doing anything else with our mana. So let's reconfigure this over here. We'll attack with that one. They'll kill Kodama and then chump it with a 1/1. Yep, we saw that one coming. It loses trample. They get to sacrifice it to drain us for 1. Then we can play Bearer. And probably equip... I mean, well, we can equip Bearer, but it doesn't really do anything either. So, yep, we lost our trample, and now we're just kind of spinning our wheels once again. Yep. So we go to 6, we're effectively at 4, and then next turn we're dead, so we have to swing out and hope it's good enough. I don't think it'll be good enough, but, you know, it is what it is. So they can pump once, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. They could potentially pump twice if they have a land in hand. We're already at 5. Next turn we're going to 4, 3. So yeah, we are definitely dead. So let's hope they forget to block here. Alright, they did not forget to block. They saw the line. Alright, let's turn this streak around here and actually get a win. Sorry if I seem so monotone here. I'm still dealing with this, still dealing with the allergies going on. My voice is pretty much shot, and I can't, yeah, it's a struggle. It's a struggle here. Happens about once every February. Bearer of Memory. I see your Bearer of Memory and trade you mine. I'll be fine trading here if they want to offer it. Terrarium. Okay, don't really care about that, I don't think. Okay. Another card we can't cast. At least we have Prancer coming next turn. It's almost like we're playing green-white. Twisted Embrace. Yep, why don't you go ahead and 2-for-1 us again. Probably just have to trade Blossom Prancer for this next turn. There's another card we can't cast. I wish this could find me lands. Yeah, I guess we're taking this, aren't we? So we could just take 4 here, put this down, and put the counter on this to hopefully block that. They'll draw a card, gain a life. And I think we're going to not block here so that we can take that line now that they proved they didn't remove this. Hey, it's a red. 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll play this down, put the counter here, and then play a 3-3. Seems pretty good. Alright, so they will match it. Probably put it there, and I think we might have to trade this time. We could just play this and equip. But I think I might just want to play boar. So if we played this and equipped, it'd be a 6/6. It still would hold back their entire board. But it's very mana inefficient. And then if they removed this, then we're in pretty big trouble. Let's just get the boar down. And don't need to trade for this stupid thing, so we'll just play a 5 mana 5/4, or 6 mana 5/4, I guess. This guy looks a bit like Elvis. Trash bot. Okay. And a problem. Sure, so let's play Sling. Let's play Merge Keeper. And let's equip Sling. So what does this even do? 5/5 Menace? It makes a creature a 5/5 with Menace. Okay, so they can just start mowing down our board one creature at a time. We just have to trade with all of them, basically. So let's put it... Guess if we put it here, it becomes... No. This opens up mana that we don't care about. I think we just want to try to hold back their board a little bit more. So, we'll pass. Alright, so we're in a sufficient board stall here, and I'm not sure our deck has a way to beat through board stalls very well. Certainly don't have any flyers in our deck. So we just have to beat through it through attacking, which is going to be a very hard thing to do. Maybe our out is them timing out. Okay, so it's a 5/5 Menace Trample. We can trade it for the Merge Keeper. They won't do that, so I guess we just play Ember Keeper here. And keep holding things back. The board is sufficiently stalled. Oh, look. Another rare. Okay, what does that one even do? Whenever it attack, or whenever you cast an enchantment, they get a 3/3. And then whenever they cast an enchantment after that, They drain us for 1. Okay. Tails. Does that open up anything for us? Let's start with this. Gives the creature +1/+1 counter and vigilance. So we still have the mana to cast this if we re-equip this turn. What are we doing? If we put it here and then we do that, we don't have an attack. But this does have an attack. But they can just block it with this thing. This could have an attack if we equip... Let's say we equip the boar. But that doesn't even have trample. We could trade for Shigeki and then, like, put a bunch of damage through. Let's do this. So we'll reconfigure this here. This can only be done as a sorcery. They are getting some sort of priority, though. I guess it could just be this. So we'll put the counter... here, and then we have 2 modified creatures. This only trigger... No, this has triggers more than once a turn. But they could just trade this with the boar. So let's just put it on the boar. And then get him with the boar. And if they trade with Shigeki, then at least the Death Toucher's off the board. They did take 6, and we get a 1/1 out of it. So... Okay, so they will do that. Do they have Master's Rebuke? Reckoner's Bargain. Oh, okay. So the boar's gonna survive. Well, that was interesting. They just let us get an extra point of damage by blocking it. Interesting. So at least that's off the board now. Very likely to kill one of these creatures here, I would think. Or both of them. So that's a huge problem. Oh, geez, they got rid of both of our big creatures. Now we can't attack with anything. Effectively. This card is super expensive and usually not worth it, but gosh, every time it's been cast on me, it's been brutal. I mean, a 6 mana kill our 2 biggest creatures. You need some setup, but their deck has the setup, so it has certainly worked out for them. So if we put the counter here and equip it with both, it'll become a 5-powered creature. It'll become 6. It'll be a 6/6. So no blocks. Go to 9. Put it here. Can only equip once if we do that, which is still fine. And we need to get this going. So why don't we... Actually, if we do this one, then the Renegade becomes a 5/3. And that can attack as well. And we can equip with both Sling. Okay, so let's do this. We'll equip Sling here. And then we can equip the other Sling. If we equip this one on Renegade, then the only way they could profitably trade, I guess, would be doing that. So let's get in with both of these here. And see how they want to block. They could double block, but we would still trade. And we're getting a 5/5 Vigilance Haste next turn and the following turn. So we have some pressure to put on here. Okay. And they will do that double block there. So we'll get rid of this. And that one, they'll take 2. You have an 8/5 trample. And if they cast another enchantment spell, we would die if we didn't block it. They could also make this unblockable. Yeah, so I think we're dead now. I'm gonna make sure the auto order, yeah, we want this off because we want to get our thing first before we get the counter. Not that it really matters. Again, hopefully they just time out because they seem to be thinking real hard about most of this. Okay, get a 10/6, so we have to block it now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we could block it. We can kill it, but gosh, we're going to be left with basically nothing. And then they just put this on something else, and then the toad could kill us. So we would take, if we blocked it with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 here, if we blocked it with all of these things, we would still take 5 and go to 4, and then they could just make this unblockable next turn and kill us. I don't really see a way. It doesn't really matter. I think we're just dead anyway. Okay, so drag triggers to choose resolution order. This will resolve first, then this will resolve. Right? You're kidding me. Is that not what I just put? Alright, let's go on to the next one. Okay, let's avoid the back-to-back 0-3 here. Gotta put this on green. We'll just play this. Good thing they didn't have any removal. They've got all 3 colors. And a circuit mender, okay? So we can go Stalker and Trainee here. We can go Samurai and Sling. I think I like that a little bit better. So we can go Sling, followed by Samurai. Grounder is going to block our board very well. So we can re-equip here and hold up this combat trick. So I think I'm going to do that. This has Menace. So let's attack with that. You can also return it here. So if we return this to our hand and then play Coiling Stalker, put a counter here, we can replay this. Yeah, that seems fine. Well, darn. We'd have to ninjutsu to put it on here. Because it only costs 1 if we play it from our hand. If we ninjutsu, it costs 1 in a green. So I think we just go to damage and then play Bearer of Memory here. Okay, gonna brutally kill our samurai here. Get a treasure, and then use that mana, potentially. Yep. Okay. Another red, horrible draw. So we can equip, and then attack, and then give it trample. It would kill their Circuit Mender, but they get to draw a card off of that. But, I mean, they're always going to get a draw card off of that unless we arrest it. Let's go here. Attack like that. They'll obviously block. Do we really even want to do that, though? Because next turn, we could just play a 5-4. And that might just be better. Just having a 5-4. But, I mean, this does get rid of them. It gets rid of the biggest creature on their board. If we do this, and we're left with a 4-3 attacker, which is still pretty good. There's no guarantee we find the land. We could get stuck on it in our hand for a while, so let's just save this. Get in for some damage, kill their Circuit Mender. And then we have the biggest creature on the board. They have 4 colors of mana now. They have a Virus Beetle. I think we have no guarantee of casting the Arrest this game, so we're going to get rid of it. And then we'll lose to an Invigorating Hot Spring this game. Multiple ways to lose, but this will be one of them. Worst draw on our deck, yet another mountain. Can't attack here. So now we're just about stuck. We could put a counter on this, though. Maybe they don't see that line? Let's try to kill it. Alright, they'll chump, maybe? Or they're just going to take it. Alright, it's fine. They have you already dead. Now they're going to make a treasure here. And then do we re-equip this? We can afford to because it won't die. So this will attack as a... If they block it, it'll be a 3-3. This will make it a 4-4. They're going to have a 6. They're probably going to put the counter here to make it a 6 toughness blocker, which we can't get through. Thirst for knowledge. What'd they discard here? Trainee in a swamp. Okay. All right. Now they'll have 2 5-powered blockers, or 5 toughness blockers, and a death toucher. All right. Not really gonna do it. I mean, we can re-equip this to the trainee, I guess. And then we'll just pass. But our late game is not near as good as theirs likely is, so I think we've kind of stalled here. So we can return Bear of Memory to our hand to gain a couple life here. Is that the only enchantment we have? Yeah. But we could return Ember Keeper and then be able to replay it. So I guess that's worth it. And then we'll replay it, but we still don't have any attacks. And then that's probably going to be the one that does it for us. So I'm sure that'll be the one that kills us. Simian Sling isn't really it. I mean, we can attack with a 5, with a 6-5, which does... But the problem is they're just going to trade with this. I mean... This is super, super slow. So nothing we have has a reach. Nope. So we'll play the sling, and then we can equip it here, I guess. I think I actually want to equip this one here, because the trainee's not doing much right now. This will at least let us tap for 2 mana next turn if we need it to do this plus a cheap drop or something like that. Okay, they'll hit us for 4. Doesn't do much for us here. I mean, the Kami can attack, but they're just going to trade with that. But we have to get that off the battlefield at some point, don't we? So let's just force the issue. Did they miss it? Alright, I guess they missed it. Oh. Maybe you should read your cards. Target enchantment creature. Okay. Alright, go to damage. That wasn't exactly what we were going for there. So it looks like this will have to get on top of the Kami to open up attacks for them to trade with that one. So let's first just use this, put a counter here, then we can reconfigure this onto here, and it actually has attacks next turn so that we can trade it with the Fang. Okay, Reckoner Raid. Hit us for 4 again. Well, Kami's Flare does get rid of Fang, so I think that's what we're going to have to do here. And then I think we're going to have to attack with Kami. Alright, so they're just going to chump it. Take 2. Alright. They seem to be flooding hard, but they still might be able to outrace us. Preserver. Huh. So we could channel this. So if we attack with this, they almost assuredly have to trade with one of these. We don't have good attacks with anything else. What if we went in with everything? It would block here, here, and take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We can make it 9, which is not good enough. So let's just get in with this one. Okay, so they will trade, and I think we're going to want to kill the Scavenger here. It doesn't really matter. So right now they're dealing 7 damage to it, so we can't even save it if we wanted to. So we'll just let that happen here. Get a 1/1. We can play this creature as just another body. Probably want to put a 1/1 on this one, just to ensure that we have a bunch of damage next turn. And the slings, we could equip, or we could just attack with them next turn. So if we equip and I think it works out to the same both ways. So let's do this, and then equip this one. So I think it should work out to the same, either way we do it. I think we're probably going to have to try to win this turn. Hope they don't top deck something really good. So it's not a land that they top decked. Looking in their graveyard. Season of Renewal, maybe? Okiba Salvage. Circuit Mender, gain 2 life. Copy it, gain 4 life. Hit us for 4. That was probably one of the worst things we could have had them top deck. Because not only did they get 2 bodies, they got 4 life. Ah, jeez. Alright. Looks like we're going to lose this one as well to a nice little top deck there from them. And knowing our deck, we probably have 2 lands on top. So we're going to have to win the game with what we've got left on board, which is going to be difficult. Basically a land because we can't cast it. So we could double equip on like Preserver and attack. But then they just do this, draw a card and chump it. If we attack with everything, they have 4 blockers. 1, 2, 3, 4. We'd only get in for a few and then we die on the backswing, so that's not the answer as well. So I guess we have to just reconfigure on top of the Preserver a couple times. Get in for 5. Hope we don't die next turn. That's what I thought they'd do. And then we can go ahead and put this over here and over here. And then we have to win next turn. Our opponent surely can't have a lot to think about at this point, right? Alright, we'll go to 1. Zumi Prowler, they'll go ahead and copy it. Could have given themselves some lifelink if they had played that pre-combat. And the worst draw in our deck in a mountain. So I didn't think this deck was worthy of 03. It wasn't a great deck, but gosh, was this an 03 deck? Double 03. Okay, that's pretty bad. Sorry you had to sit through that one. If you watched today's and yesterday's, it'll get better here, hopefully at some point. If you're still here, thanks so much for sticking around to the end of the video. Check out our Crimson Vow trophy. Check out our Neon Dynasty trophy playlist here at the end of the video to go and look at some actual good drafts. Or if you want to go and look at yesterday's bad draft, you can find that one in the end screen too. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'll see you tomorrow for your daily draft.